glorified, be glorified in my song. Lord, be glorified today.
Good morning.
Can you hear me okay? I can have a fit with these microphones. I want to thank you for welcome to the People's Church of Divine Prophecy on this Sunday. Beautiful July weekend. Nice sunny day. Appreciate everybody coming today, spending part of their holiday here, and sharing what we're going to present here today. Reverend Steve Atkins in the pastor of the church. He's not here today, but Marty has agreed to fill in for him, so we're happy to have that. I was telling somebody earlier in the service, I said, you never heard me try to sing with recorded music, so I'm very fortunate to have Marty here. I'd like to ask everybody to silence their cell phones unless you're medical or law enforcement personnel. Stand for a word of prayer and then stand for the first hymn. Dear Father God, we give thanks for this moment in time. When we take time to be quiet today, feel the blessings, the hope, the love and the trust that flows unceasingly from you to us. May we find a way to express part of this to those that we come in contact today. May we keep part of it for ourselves. And may we move one step further on our spiritual path today.
For our first hymn, we're going to do Kumbaya. The word for come by you, by here in the Spirit. That's number 6. Number 6
David light the candles, symbolizing the unity of body, mind, and spirit. Moving the spirit. And this first coming in. The next portion is the reading by the pastor. Now, before I say what I'm going to say, I want you to know that spiritual pursuits really work in your life. And I know that I share a lot of things that go on with my life from time to time, week to week. Something really horrific happened last night. My son's house burned down. And he was not in it, nobody got injured, and it was the freakest accident that I had ever, I never knew anybody whose house burned down, so the first person I know, it's my son. And they were off to Orlando, stuck in race traffic, trying to get to a birthday party, so it's his birthday today on top of it. And what happened was a dead tree fell on an electrical line a block away from his house. There was no wind last night, no storm last night. This tree falls on an electrical line, stretches the electrical line tight on 7 houses, and his was the only one that got caught on fire. And it burned to the ground in a matter of minutes. They couldn't save anything. So I went over to the house. His dog didn't survive. He had a 15-year-old pit bull that didn't make it. The oddest thing is, one of the oddest things that happened was he's got this leopard gecko that I gave him. And the way I got that leopard gecko was that some young man had committed suicide and I was counseling the mother and the sisters outside the apartment. I just happened to walk up and being a minister, I've been speaking to them, and we stayed with them for about 2 hours, freezing cold. It was the middle of November, and at the end of it, the police opened the house up and went upstairs. The body had already been removed of her son, and the leopard gecko was sitting on the counter. She said, "If you want that, please take it." So I took the leopard gecko and gave it to my son about 5 years ago. Well, he'd taken this leopard gecko and put it on the back porch because he sprayed the house with bug spray. So the leopard gecko survived and was dog good. So I look at all of this, and some of you may know my story with him and his fiance, girlfriend, whatever she happens to be. And I've had a lot of difficulty with her in my life. They came back from Orlando, and I was there with them, coordinating things with the fire department. I was up till about 2 in the morning, so I'm a little disheveled this morning. I woke up and I said, God, I really need to go to the church because I'm the only one that can set the PA system up. Ronnie's not going to be there, so I have personal responsibility to be there. So I came here today. I enjoy being here. They're not. The story is that the Red Cross came in, and normally they find a hotel room for them to stay in because I have a small house and I can't really have guests for too long. It's maybe a couple of days at best. And I really didn't want his girlfriend, fiance in my house because we've had a lot of history. My wife has attempted to take a restraining order out on her because she really gets wound up at times and uses language that even sailors don't use and threatens people and just all kinds of stuff. So here I am trying to get the Red Cross to take him to a hotel. Of course we know it's race week and there isn't a spare hotel room for 100 miles around. So do you think God's going to let me out of facing that?
Wow.
So, needless to say, they came to my house last night about 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, and it went pretty smooth, but it was me trying to avoid having to face that situation. And sometimes God just, you keep making choices, and if you make the wrong choices, they just get harder and harder and harder. If you make the right choice, things seem to get better from that point on. So, and what was odd was that the fire marshal had asked my wife what time was it, and she looks at her watch, and it said 11:11. Now, I don't know how many of you have an affinity with that number, but she really connected to that as an indicator of spiritual hope and help, an indicator of a spiritual thing occurring. So besides the dog dying, now they have the opportunity to have a brand new house because they're insured. They have the ability to wipe out any memories of bad things that have gone on. They have a chance to have a new beginning. And by her coming to my house last night, we had a new beginning with our relationship. So things can work. A lot of difficult things happen to people all the time. I know I'm not the only one. Florence has had one of her grandsons attacked and stabbed 6 times. And the guy defended himself against multiple attackers. And God would.
And son were able to escape because of it.
God was involved in that too because he hit one of the attackers one time. The guy tripped, broke his neck, and died at the scene when he stabbed him. So there's. God is involved in our lives at every level if we look for it. In the smallest things, in the smallest ways. So you have to look for God at every turn because God is there in the smallest or the largest things. I was trying to hurry to get here because I left late. And again, I'm the only one that can set the room out today. And I stopped, to get salads for the potluck lunch. Of course, who do you think gets in front of me all right? somebody fumbling for coupons, counting pennies out for their order, and then the cash register fouls up on the won't take the coupons.
Patience.
So I'm sitting there, and fortunately there was an older cashier on the cash register. She did something, put the thing aside and said, "Let me take the next man in line." So I'm just sitting there calm, breathing, relaxing, waiting to see what's coming up my way. And this lady was, I've never seen a cashier do that before. Usually it's, "I can't do anything until this is done." Go in the other line, you know. This lady, poop, 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 next one line until this is resolved. So, you know, God's there. Just be relaxed, be calm, and look for that guidance, and things will come your way. Because we lecture today, Dave Garwood's John. So thank you for listening for a few moments. Please stand. The next portion of the service is the contact healing portion. I'd like to ask Marty and Judy and Ellen to take seats behind the healing stools. Those that wish to have hands-on healing, just take a seat as they become available. Ashton's going to do the guided meditation. If you hear this during the meditation, that means a seat has become available so you can enjoy the meditation and get a healing at the same time.
Good morning. Mercury is in retrograde, that's why all these challengeful events are happening. So, as Reverend Steve said, just know that you are safe, you are protected, and everything is divine, in divine order. Don't give in to all these pulls and push and challenges. Just remain focused on who you are. That you are always protected, safe, and loved. With this thought in your mind, take in a deep breath, find a comfortable position, and cross your legs. Just sit comfortably where your breath will flow throughout your body. Close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths through your nose, inhale. And with your exhale, let go. Let go of whatever is occupying your mind. Any concerns, any worries. Just see all these thoughts leaving your mind like music notes. They're just flying out. Bring your focus and your awareness to your breath. Breathe in and breathe out. Just engage in the mechanism of your breath. And know that this is the breath of God. In the presence of God, mighty I Am presence, I now call forth the divine healing energy to be here at this time and to provide each one of us with the healings that we need for our mind, body, and spirit. As we call upon the law of forgiveness, we forgive all those who have hurt us. We forgive those who have caused us pain and suffering. We forgive them. and we detach with love. We let go emotions of fear, anger, resentment. We let go of whatever is holding us back from advancing spiritually. Any situations, relationships, friendships that are holding us back from achieving our highest potentials. We let go. We let go to the light of God that never fails. And we surrender to God, God the omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient, to be in charge of our lives, our existence, our soul and spirit, while we are here in this physical plane, on earth and beyond. In the name of universal Christ consciousness, we ask for protection, and we accept it as it's done. While you are breathing, allow these affirmations and vibrations to settle into your consciousness, into your mind, body, and spirit. Slowly shift your awareness higher to your third eye. And envision brilliant golden light entering through your third eye, the center of your forehead, and moving gently, spreading inside your head, healing and clearing your mental body. As you release and let go all the negative thoughts, and see the light, this golden energy, replacing your thoughts with positive, loving, gentle, kind thoughts and affirmations. Feel the energy moving down to your throat, down to your shoulders, to your arms, extending to your arms, all the way to your fingers and fingertips. Moving back up to your chest. Feel or see the energy clearing your chest, your back, lower back. As it moves, it clears the blockages, both in your physical body and spirit body, your light body. Just follow the energy. If there is any area in your body aching or you're having trouble, just direct this energy to that area. And feel that area healed. Feel the energy clearing and healing your emotional body as you release and let go all the emotions of pain, hurt, Feel your emotions being filled with love and acceptance. And the energy moving down to your legs, down to your feet, and exiting from the bottom of your feet and extending deep into the ground and grounding you to the earth. Breathe in and breathe out. Just let go and release whatever is not part of your divine soul, your origin. Your essence is love, only love. All the thoughts are fabrication of the mind. Do not let your mind interfere with your essence. Embrace yourself with God's true love. And know that you are a divine being. You are a multi-dimensional being. You are infinite spirit. You are a segment of the holy design. Embrace this truth. And let truth guide you and lead you. Always. While you are in this heightened state of awareness, shift into the higher dimensions of light, higher. You will become aware of ascended masters, light beings, teachers, saints. As you look around, there is one light being that you feel attracted. Get to know this light being. This light being is your spiritual guide at this time. It is always around you to help you with your spiritual journey. Make a connection with this light being and get to know. And know that this light being is always there for you. Spirit being. We are all part of the Great Spirit, vibrating in different dimensions. Thank your spirit guide for the presence. As you start slowly coming back to your physical body, know that you can always connect to those higher spiritual realms and receive all the guidance and the healings that you need. Have faith in yourself and trust in God. As your true self. With this, you start coming back to your physical body. Engage with your physical senses. Gently start coming back. Feel your hands, your feet. Ready, you can open your eyes and be here. Thank you.
In closing out, we'd like to read an inspirational passage for today. Painful as the present time may be, you will see one day the reason for it. You will see that it was not only testing, but also a preparation for the life work which you are to do. Have faith your prayers and aspirations will someday be answered. Answered in a way that seems painful to you, but that is the only right way. Selfishness and pride often make us want things that are not good for us. They need to be burned out and be rid of the blocks that are holding us back before we can expect our prayers to be answered. The next portion of the service is the inspirational lecture. Today's lecturer is David Garwood, visiting medium from New Zealand. He's been here once before. Agreed to be the lecturer today and the message bearer, so we're going to work with double today. He's been traveled all around the world demonstrating spirit, teaching, doing healings. Very interesting, comes from a spiritual scientific background like myself, so we sit down, we can talk for hours and never run out of something to talk about. I really enjoy his company, and I'm certain you'll enjoy his lecture today. Please welcome David Garwood.
Thank you. It's nice to be here. It really is, especially on a race day. And even though you chucked us British out, but where I was originally, right, on an independence weekend. So what I'd like to talk about and really talk about at this moment of time, and a very special time, is I would like to talk about, right, who are we? What are we? You know, we all seem to think we know one another. It took me years and years to find out who I was. All I can do is take you back to my childhood. I was born in 1940 in London, in the middle of a blitz, in the middle of a road. And because of that, it makes so much difference to my life, being brought up in a city where bombing was going on. And I was in the city, right, but I also, my mother was rushing me from shelter to shelter, right, or putting me down in the underground. And this played quite a big part in my life, because a lot of us London kids, we were in these what called Anderson shelters, so the corrugated iron with lots of dirt on the top and just a wooden board in front to get us out the bombing. And a lot of us got tuberculosis. I was one of those kids. So we were evacuated, and my mother was lucky, she wouldn't let me go, so I was evacuated to a farm in Yorkshire. And I was in that farm, and it was a wonderful time. I can remember being on top of a haystack, being pulled by a drove, a horse, totally naked with my cousin. And all I can remember was the straw. It was straw they were cutting. All I can remember was that straw going into my tender parts. So it was a wonderful time. And then I got very, very sick, went back to London and got very, very sick and was institutionalized. I was stuck into institutions and what have you. And my life changed. It literally did. Right, I had no parents, but I had hundreds of other kids. It was in a huge big house called Overley, and the dorms would sleep 30, 40, maybe 50 people, children, not much gap between the beds. But all of a sudden I found I didn't need people. I didn't need this lot. I didn't need them at all. If you were naughty, they couldn't punish you or anything like this. But what they used to do, there used to be these long, tall cupboards going up in the air. And they were made out of matchline. This is boarding which comes together, and when it gets hot, it pulls apart. And they used to stick us in these cupboards and close the door maybe for an hour, 2 hours, right, until we quietened it down. I used to be deliberately naughty to get locked in those cupboards. Because when I got locked in those cupboards, I had my friends there, my spirit friends, they were all around me. I could see them, I could play with them, and I could talk to them. So they were really something really special to me. So I suppose that's about the time my spiritual development started. I know there was one break, and I would have been about 3. And my mother took me down to they let me out and took me down for a weekend to my grandmother's house in Brighton. And on the seafront they had these Sunday school things. And because this was also a church thing which was running these things. But they had this Sunday school thing. And as a child, right, each child was asked to get up and do something from the Bible. Now I would have been 3, 3.5 at the most. And I repeated the 23rd Psalm. No trouble at all, no breaks or anything else. My prize was a large green duck's egg. That was the prize of coming first. That egg meant so much to me. It also meant something to me, but I won something. I was somebody special now. Right, so that went with me through my life. And so on and so on and so on. I know my school reports always said the same thing. Right, David has a wonderful imagination. What they were actually saying, David tells lies. Because I was daft enough to tell them what I was seeing. And that disappeared out of me after I come home and said thanks to my mum, which a gentleman had died, but he'd been dead for 7 weeks, so I got the hiding of my life. So after this, right, you start to, spirit, I think, starts to protect you, guides start to protect you. They start to move you away from this, because they don't want you getting punished as a kid. But something you've got no control over. And honesty, I was a very honest kid. I was a naughty kid, but I was an honest naughty kid. So there's no 2 doubts about it. But what I want to do is, I want to stop talking about me, but talk about all of you. How many of you really know yourselves? Really know who you are and what you are? Most of us don't. We think we do. But because of my background, which I explained, you've all got backgrounds which are there. My background was this person, which I called God, got me punished quite regularly. He really did. God sees everything. So very quick, this guy God, right, me and him parted. We really did, in big, big ways. Because I was told if I didn't do something, I wouldn't go to heaven. I was told that a few weeks ago in my local town event. A young lady stopped past me and she said a few things, and we had a bit of a talk as we were going there, and she was handing out this paper. And she said to me, "What are you?" I said, "I'm a spiritualist. I'm proud of it." And she said, "You know, you'll never go to heaven." And I turned around and said, "Yeah, that's quite right. I'm quite happy. Right, because I'm walking beside you right now, and this is hell. And you're right beside me, right at this moment of time. This is hell." And she said, "It can't be." And I said, "Well, it is." I said, "It's in the Bible. If you know your Bible, it's in there." I said, "God gave this to Satan and fallen agents, this planet. And we wouldn't learn anything if this was an extension of heaven. But God, we can learn an awful lot because we've got to go through hell through this lifetime at different times. So we've got to go through this journey, this journey which we're in these lifetimes. My guides hate the word journey. If I mention the word journey, I'm going to get my hands smacked. Thank you. I'm going to get my hands smacked because it isn't a journey. It's not a journey of life. It's a journey of experiences. Each experience you have makes you who you are. And it's a journey of experiences, right? So that becomes the journey, is the experiences. That makes you who you are. And that's what I said. If you ask yourself who you are, I know what Silver Birch says. Silver Birch turns around and says, we are spirit first in a physical body. Stop and think about that. We have free will. And everybody seems to want to take my free will away from me. We have freedom of speech, but by golly, don't say something anywhere in what we call the free world. Because if you do, you'll finish up in a court or locked up if it's against people. So, stop and think where we are. If I'm in London, if I'm in Paris, I can say what people like to hear. But I can't say what they don't like to hear. I won't get into politics, but you've got a gentleman right this moment for telling the truth, which is in dead trouble in this country. So this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, do you know who you are? Do you realise that each one of us, as a human being and as a spiritual being, we're shackled. We are shackled. We're shackled by so-called this freedom, what we call, but we're shackled by it. We're shackled it because of threats. Threats were totally untrue, but we are shackled. I also want to turn around and say, how do you clear yourself of this? How do you know what to do to clear yourself of this? Most people come to me from readings today, and I have an awful lot in different parts of the world. And I normally finish up telling them a tiny mantra to do. Get up first thing in the morning, you go to wash your face, go to the toilet, look in that mirror, but offset it. Look in it and mean what I'm about to tell you to say. I am God. I am spirit. I am immortal. I love myself for who I am and what I am. I am what I am. I am. You're actually saying God's name when you say that. I am what I am. I am. Now you can fill the middle in with what you like. I can turn around and say, I'm God, I'm spirit, I'm immortal. Right. I think I'm a wonderful person. I'm getting better looking every day. I'm getting fitter and healthier. I'm going to have a wonderful day. But mean it. Mean what you're saying. And if you mean what you're saying, you will become it. And you do this morning, lunchtime and evening. It came from the first Dalai Lama. It was a prayer. He told his people to say this. And why we say look into the mirror, he said when you go down to get the water out the spring, right, you will see your own reflection. Say it to your own reflection so you believe what you're saying. And why we say look on sideways is for the simple reason the pebbles are actually breaking up the water. So we've got a bit of a dirty mirror there with shaving cream on and talcum powder and a lipstick. That's great, don't clean it. Because we want a broken image. So be who you are. I was born free spirit, and by golly, it's cost me a lot of problems to say it's been free spirit. It really has. It's not easy. It's not easy being a free spirit. After things which happened in my life, I became an atheist. It was the hardest thing in the world to be an atheist. It really is hard. Don't ever let anybody tell you it isn't. It's very, very hard. And because something happened in my life to bring me back from where they protected me, the spirit world, it took the death of my wife and for her to walk down in front of me 3 days afterwards, after her death. And all of a sudden, it all came rushing back to me. So then I had to go, right, and start to learn. And through learning through an old friend, which was Pastor Joseph O'Connor, like passed a few weeks ago, and a lady, right, who I was very close to, her neighbours, who used to be my fisherwoman, and she also used to be my greatest critic. I would take her to services and say, we'd drive home and she would be silent. I would know I was in problems. I was really in problems. If she was silent, I was really in problems. And I would stop the car and say to her, Mavis, what did I do wrong? And she would tell me. She would then turn around the top, because I'd say, this car's not moving, it's on automatic. It only moves when I put the foot on it, you're there right. We're not moving until you tell me what's wrong. And she would tell me. So she would counter back what I did. So I could never get too much ego. My egos could never be got too much. Joseph was my main teacher at one stage. But things change in life and you move apart. You really do. You move apart. And I did move apart from Joseph. Only a week or so ago, we were trying to make radio contact with the spirit world, which is something which I've always been interested in, the science of it. Who came through first? He's only been dead less than, 3 weeks? Was Joseph. And I've got 2 witnesses in this room to say it was Joseph. He came through. So I take it, all the things which he was upset with me for, he's forgotten. And I forgot. I forgive him when he said it, I was hurt. I forgave him straight away because I loved the old guy. I really did. He was someone really special in my life. And this is how our life goes from time to time. We need to go on this journey and be who we are. What we were created for. As Silver Birch said, we're spirit first. This body is just something that will carry us. Christ mentioned it as being the temple. Spirit within the temple. And it comes in all shapes, sizes, colours, white, black, yellow, brown. And it doesn't matter. It's the spirit within it. The spirit is all from one thing. It's the one thing which makes you who you are, is that spirit. We hear all about our past lives. Yeah, we can call upon them. And we can work with our past lives. But this life we've got now, even though I'm going to prove life continues on after life here, is the only life at this moment you know. Unless we go to past life regression. It's the only one you know. When I pass over, David Garwood can never come back here again. Another segment of me may come back again and reincarnate, but it's never going to be David Garwood. It will have another name, it will be another shape, it may be male, it may be female, with different chores, different tasks to do. So enjoy your life as it is. You may have come on a planet which is positive and more negative at the moment, but you can make your every day a positive day, a loving day, by loving yourself. Now I want to give you some proof. I've got to clean my voice, because you might not like what's coming up in a minute. I'm going to give you some proof, right, of how spirit works. Now your loved ones work with you. My wife passed over, and after 3 years I still hadn't put a tombstone down. I really hadn't. And it was annoying me. And before she passed, she said, David, this is your problem. All my funeral arrangements and what goes on my stone is yours. Don't leave it to the kids. That's the easy way. She said, it's your problem. And I used to go up to the cemetery virtually every day and sit beside there, because I'm up in this, I can see the mountains. It's a lovely place, and on a sunny day it's a wonderful place to be. I must get some water. And I'm sitting there, and I'm just trying to discuss this with her. You know, well, what am I going to put on this tombstone, girl? You know, something's got to be done. You know, it's coming up over 2 years now. And all of a sudden, a tune came into my head. And I'm trying to get this tune out and couldn't. And then some words came in on the first day. The second day, the tune got stronger, and I knew the tune. And the words came in even more. The third day, the words were there and the tune was there. Now the only way I can prove this is to try and sing it to you. That's what I said, so I can't ruin his. Because my voice isn't the greatest, especially when I got this broken on coffee. And it goes like this. This is the proof I needed. I needed proof. Suppose I'm a skeptic. People, I say this, you know, on TV, when I'm being interviewed by TV or radio or newspaper reporters, and they say, do you believe in all this? And I say, you're talking to the biggest skeptic in the world. Yeah, I'm skeptical. Well, could you do this work? I said, yes, I've got to do it. Because I've got to prove it to myself. I've got to prove it to myself. The same way as I said, you've got to prove you love yourself to yourself. You really have, all of you have got to prove you love yourself to who you are. So anyway, this song, let's go back to it. Put your fingers in your ears. And it goes like this. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful lady who I loved forever and a day. One day she passed and went to spirit and left a void in my heart each day. One day I die and return to spirit. My lady, she waits there just for me. We will be reunited and live in peace and harmony. Just you wait and see, in heaven it will be. So you can see, I got my evidence. I also got what I wanted to put on the tombstone. Right. This is a beautiful lady who I love forever and a day. So I got it all from her, not from myself. I always needed her. I always needed to type letters. She typed my letters because I was dyslexic, so I will not type letters. I've had to buy a really expensive Apple now, so I can speak into the mic, so I can reply. And I'm very honest. I'm very honest to myself and honest as much as I can be to all of you. So I think Will you take something out of this? But the main thing is, this is your life, and it's a special life. It's not one which you chance. You've got to be a human. I always ask, why the hell did I sign on for another trip back here? Haven't you ever asked yourself that? I'm a spiritualist in the meeting up here. So I said, I asked myself, what the hell did you sign this for? For the simple reason, not only did I need to learn, there was other attractions to attract me back. Something I don't think I can get in the spirit world. They must have other ways to do it. That is the touching of the flesh, to feel a newborn baby in your arms. But this is a church, so I can't say making love with another one. In the spirit world, you'd have plenty of stop and think about it. Your energy. It would be a pretty hard job. But that's what we're here for. We're here for those experiences. The experiences come the journey. You are the journey. You are love. And the Spirit loves you. You don't have to convince anybody in the spirit world if you're loved. They definitely love you. So who have you got to convince? Yourself. Because if you can convince yourself you're loved, right, everybody around you will love you. Even the people who you may say are your enemy. Going back to that, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, thy rod and thy staff, it comforts me. They appear as a table before me in the presence of their enemies. Just think of what it's saying. It's David was a soldier. It's a soldier dying on the battlefield. That's why he says, they laid me down to lie. Think of what it's all about. This life is a great life. It's a great place. It's the most beautiful planet on the world. The set we destroy. And we're part of the living organisation of that planet. We are. We're the ones on this planet to protect it. So please, love this planet. Love yourselves. Love everything around you. So that tiny little flea what might bite you, or that sandfly which has left bites all up my legs, or that mozzie. They may have been sent on this planet. Maybe they were one of the other things that was sent to annoy us. But even the mozzie bites an experience. Even the flea has the right to live a life. So always remember, I'm going to love myself. I'll leave these love and blessings with you. And please, make my diet and start loving yourself. Thank you and bless you for listening to me.